Well, here we are. Just 2 episodes in and already at the most infamously difficult cheat unlocking in this game. Because this is the facility, a fairly sprawling level with a lot of steps to it that the game expects you to beat in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And with a lot of experimentation, I did eventually figure out how to do this. A couple things to note before getting into the actual run. First off, one of the reasons that this run in particular was so difficult back in the day is because you are required to meet up with a character called Dr. Doak, whose location is randomly selected at the beginning of the stage. And sometimes he's in a convenient spot and sometimes he's in a very much not convenient spot, from which it is, I'm quite certain, physically impossible to find him there and be able to beat the level within the time limit. And that led to a lot of frustration back in the day, because few things are worse in this game than having a good run for most of the level, only to get to the end and find out that it was actually doomed from the start due to some RNG. So to save you from wasting a lot of time and energy and luck on runs that just are not going to be any help anyways, here is what I recommend doing. There is a particular point at the beginning of the level at which the game decides where Dr. Dog is going to be. And I did some experimenting to figure out exactly when that is. It's not during the opening cutscene, and it's not the very second you start, but by the time you get to the end of the vent and drop down into the stall, by that time the game seems to consistently have decided where Dr. Dog is going to be. I recommend save stating the second you drop down into the stall, then doing a scout mission to figure out where Dr. Doak is, and if he's in a location that doesn't work for you, then quit the level, go back into it, drop down into the stall again, and do another save state. Repeat that process until you find Dr. Doak in a place that is actually favorable for the strategy that you want to use, and then reload that last save state. Because that way you can start off from basically the beginning of the level, knowing that each time you do, Dr. Doak is going to be in a place that works. The other thing to note, just because it goes by so fast that I won't be able to talk about it at the time while also talking about other things, is as I'm going down this first flight of stairs, you will notice me plant a remote mine, and the precise placement of it is important, because what I'm doing is I'm trying to kill off 1 or 2 of the guys in the control room, but not all 3, because explosions go through walls somehow. What I want to happen is for 1 or 2 of the guards in the control room to die mysteriously from the edge of this explosion that gets through the wall, and for the survivors to go, my friends died, I should go investigate. Because then they'll open the sliding door for you. And the sliding doors take a little bit of time to open, so anytime you can get someone else to open it for you, that saves you a bit of time. So, confession time. The part of me going through the vents is not the same run as the rest of the run, but since I had to do that a few times before getting Dr. Doak in the right location, I only bothered to record it once. But there's not much difference in how you can get to that point, so put the mine there, and I still have the mine out at first just because I need to get into this room before activating it so that I don't get hit by the explosion. Switch back to the mine here just to get rid of those guys. the quickest way of dealing with them. Now, I made the mistake of not being at the side enough here, and I took an extra hit that I didn't need to. An important thing here is just to make some noise, so that this guy opens this door for you. And just try and get through these guards as best as you can. Preferably without taking damage. I ended up with Dr. Doak in a very fortunate spot. He was like right there in the corner. Although he didn't start talking to me right away. And I did a save state here, because you can do that in the watch. I don't think it takes time when you're in the watch. Now, there's different strategies with this. I'm putting the remote mines in the corners so that they'll get as much damage as they can for the first 8 barrels. And then, if you have the ammo, you can take out the final 2 with just another gun. But I had the extra mine. I didn't see a purpose for the extra mine. So, I had an extra one there. And there you have it. At Trevelyan, you gotta make sure that he makes eye contact with you and starts talking before you start placing mines, or else you're gonna be wasting a bit more time. I think that's the only other note.